Welcome to the GGB Supplier Showcase. My guest today is Marcus Yoder. Marcus has just started working for Playtech. Playtech is a huge supplier out of the UK and Israel. Marcus, thanks for joining us. It's great to finally get together with you. We've been in contact on many of our other past efforts, and you always do a great job. That's why you get a really good new job.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to be at Playtech. It's been a kind of a 15-year route to get here, but
right.
So far so good.
So I've been going to ICE for almost 20 years, and Playtech was always one of the major vendors over there. You know, one of the largest stands on the floor, and we come back to G2E and it was missing. So yeah, we knew it was important. So give us an idea of the size and scope of Playtech and how it grew over the years into what it is now.
Sure. So Playtech is about a $1.2 billion revenue company operating globally. We have 6,500 individuals working for us around the world. We do have a prevalence in London, Sofia, Bulgaria, actually Kyiv in the Ukraine. We went through quite a transition there, but you know that location is actually back up and running. We have a new location in Poland as well. And then obviously here in the United States, we're about 120 people. And interestingly enough, we actually, a very large percent of our employees globally are involved in our live offering, right. Live gaming, live casino. Mm-hmm. We have about 120 people here in the US, as I mentioned, but the majority of those people are actually our dealers and pit bosses and managers for our game studios in Michigan, right, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And that's the people and the revenue side of it. But you know, the interesting thing is that we've got 8 different verticals globally that we operate in different capacities in different countries around the world, all the way from obviously the live offering that I mentioned, total online gaming, right. But we also run retail bingo in the UK. We run about 90,000 bet entry points globally, 60,000 kiosks, and 30,000 tills or over the counter. We have a land-based slot business which we introduced at G2E. We can talk a little bit about that. And we even have a casino management system called Neon that we operate in some of the smaller regional markets around the world. So there's a lot.
Yeah. Platforms as well for online gaming and things of that nature. So,
that's the core of what we do. Right. I would say at least for online, it's the online player account management system. We've got this thing called the Customer Engagement Center, which is where we create our player journeys. We also now have a technology called Bet Buddy, which utilizes that player journey perspective for responsible gaming, using about 70 different markers for potential problem gambling.
Okay, great. So what is your U.S. strategy? I mean, there's been a lot of companies from Europe that have come in here with great platforms, and some of them have done well, some of them not so well. I was just reading one of them the other day said they're not going to break even until 2026. That's a long time.
Yeah. No, I think we're well ahead of that. You know, our approach was to look at it, and this is before I joined, to look at the different opportunities of where we could really create an anchor account and then grow from there. And that anchor account turned out to be Parks and the Bet Parks organization. And that was really fantastic. It's great to work with them and continue to expand jurisdictions with them. So, you know, that was the anchor. And then we realized, you know, we're not going to win every PAM deal. And obviously there are many out there. So then we decided to focus on our content, and that's the iCasino side and then the live side, and really made an investment, continue to make investments in the live studio actual infrastructure as we go through. It takes us about $5 million to set up one of those studios. But you know, that was the core of it. Let's lead with that anchor operator and then expand from there. Let's bring in our own casino content that we have from outside of the United States, and then really go hard at the live opportunity. Now we're the dust has kind of settled a little bit on the sports betting opportunities, and now we're seeing some new greenfield opportunities, but we're actually seeing a lot of replacement cycles start. Where they got going, maybe they've operated with their sportsbook operator for a couple of years, like I'd like something a little bit different than
Right.
the rest of the market. And
Sure.
so that's what we're offering. And then we are now doing entering into field trials for our land-based slot machines, and that'll be East Coast for right now, and we'll see how they perform and go from there. What we did was we actually took the player data for our top 10 games in online in New Jersey and said, okay, apparently American players like to play these, and we converted those into the land-based slot machines.
Okay, great. So you have obviously had to get licenses in all these jurisdictions. I know that's a huge effort. Have you been licensed in most U.S. jurisdictions right now?
Yeah, well, as we progressed with our operators, we're licensed in New Jersey, Pennsylvania,
Right.
Michigan, just now Colorado, just heard. Moving forward with basically Maryland, West Virginia, and all the states that our operators need us to go into.
Right.
And I got to hand it to our compliance team, both internationally and then the one that's domiciled here in the United States. They stay on top of it.
Okay, great. So I know that the live dealers in most states in the U.S., they require you to actually be located within that state. So that must be a pretty big investment then in every state that you're in.
It is, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
The shift, I think, from single play casino game to these social, we call them social, not social casino, but
Right.
social games, because you're playing with other people.
Sure.
And specifically our online live slot game, you actually see comments from other people,
Right.
and you have a live person pressing a button
Right.
with you, and you're all playing together. It's very much the Brian Christopher model, right?
Yeah.
And so with that gains, you get longer term play, you get longer term customers. They can actually watch the game and enjoy it and not bet, and then decide to bet and then take 10 spins and then right back out. It's also, the margins are good on those games. And so it makes the investment that we make in each state worthwhile.
Right. And the fact that there's only, 6 states right now that approve online gaming, there's so much potential there. There
is, we're in it for the long haul, as I think, most of us, understand that we're not going to see the wildfire that sports betting saw. I think it'll be maybe, a new state per year. Everybody's looking at Indiana, potentially. They've got New York still out there. But I think, slowly, year over year, we're going to add another state and eventually, get to the point where the majority have it.
Sure. Do you think that once these states that have legalized sports betting see the revenue that the other states are getting from online gaming, that might push them a little toward the legalization of that type of wager?
Yeah, I think it's a factor, definitely. And I also think we now, Roger, you and I have talked about the potential cannibalization for years.
Sure.
And we get to see it, right? We've got data point after data point after data point. New Jersey, both, online and land-based rose. Pennsylvania up and to the right. Michigan up and to the right. And I think that Michigan is actually one of the most telling, because that was the first time where tribal casinos are also engaged, right? And you've seen the exact same thing. Even, the 4 casinos that are operating on their own, they're seeing their revenues continue to rise. There was no impact on their land-based revenue. And I'm getting this through conversations with the tribal operators. And you look at that, and then you look at Minnesota. Well, why not Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
why
sure.
not Wisconsin? Because, you've got a great opportunity there. You've got your, state monopoly, if you will, of being the only casino operators, so why not?
Sure. So what was the response from attendees at G2E about your slot games, the actual physical slot games?
Yeah, it went over really well.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I mean, we had a fairly small booth. We're going to grow that next year. And those slot machines are over on one side. You walk around that corner and it was always packed, 2 or 3 people deep.
Sure.
So the team did a really good job. We got these suites, we call them power suites. One's called Age of the Gods, where it's basically, we choose a mythology and create, 10 games around Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology, Greek mythology, and people just love those games. Then we've got different features such as our Fireblaze feature, which is, a great bonusing feature. and you put those on very sleek cabinets, and the majority of operators are like, yeah, let's try that. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you do have so many popular games that it really makes sense to do that, and this would be actually drawing the online gamblers to the real life casinos, which is
that's the idea.
I think in everybody's plan there, right?
Yeah, that is the idea. Call it omni-channel, call it virtual circle.
Right. Yeah, yeah. We love that omni-channel.
Yeah, we do.
Marcus, thanks for joining us. It's great to see you, and good luck with Playtech. And we're going to be helping you out all this year, getting the word out. And I know you got 1 million products, so we can do this 5 or 6 more times and still not touch everything.
That's right. No, well, thank you for the time, Roger.
Great. Well, we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us for the GGB Gaming Supplier Showcase, our exclusive look at the best products and services produced by vendors for the gaming, iGaming, and sports betting industries. For more information about the GGB Supplier Showcase, contact Terry Brady at tbrady@ggbmagazine.com.